what are you? To fulfill Project 4, a fact-finding report in the Speaking to Inform manual. From his speech today, you'll gain an insight into people's personalities that may aid you in dealing with both your friends and your critics. At the end of this 5 to 7 minute presentation, there'll be a 2 to 3 minute question and answer period. Ken?
What are you? I'm irrational. You know what I'm talking about? Anyone? I'm talking about one of the 4 types of temperaments that for 2,000 plus years have been identified as the 4 categories people fall into. And today, you're going to learn about those 4 types of temperaments and perhaps pick up some tips and ideas that might help you in dealing with friends and critics. But more about that later. I first learned about temperaments a few years ago when I was talking to Carol. Carol was a dancing friend of mine, about my height, an ex-New Yorker, so very outspoken. And Carol said, "Ken, you think too much. You analyze everything." Carol, what's wrong with thinking? She said, "Oh, it's just annoying. You're always analyzing and trying to figure things out. Just don't do that." And I thought, Ken, is there something wrong with you? Do you need to change yourself? And that question motivated me to do some research on people, types of people, and I found out that there were 4 types, one of which was the rational, which I am. A rational looks at the world through his mind or her mind, trying to understand the rules and laws of the universe so he or she could feel confident and in control. I was a thinking type. Now, you wouldn't ask an oak tree, for example, to become a maple. You wouldn't say, "You're too oaky to become a maple," right? Well, I discovered as a rational, you can't ask a rational not to think, become something else. And I realized there was nothing wrong with me. Just Carol must have been another temperament. You're probably wondering, what are the other temperaments? Well, the second temperament is an idealist. An idealist is a person who looks at the world as a place to make the world better, to reach personal fulfillment, and make people happy. Idealists tend to use global, impressionistic language and go into things like nursing, teaching, not-for-profit organizations. Do you know anyone like that? Yeah, you probably do. I, as a rational, get along with idealists and vice versa. The third type is an artisan type, and the very name itself suggests what kind of person that is. An artisan is a person who, through personal expression, wants to make an impact on the world. At the moment, spontaneously impact people and change the way people react. A classic example of an artisan is Lady Gaga. She's just saying, "Look at me, feel something, be different." Now, you're not going to go up to Lady Gaga and say, "You ought to think more." Right? She's not that kind of person. By temperament, by nature, she's an artisan. It's all about reacting spontaneously and making an impact. And the 4th type, or temperament, is a guardian. Guardians are concerned with society being the best it can be for all of us to live a fulfilling life. They're people who follow the rules, like to make things work for everybody, and they tend to speak in conventional language so they can fit in and belong. They're often lawyers, accountants, policemen, businessmen. I'm sure you know people like that. So all 4 of these temperaments, which have been known for more than 2,000 years, you could think of as the trees that make up the forest of people. And you don't ask one to become the other. Now, what are you? If you want to know that, you might be able to find out which, not only temperament you are, but who you might get along with. If you want to find out which temperament you are, you could buy this book, which is not written by me, so it's not an advertisement. It's a classic book called Please Understand Me, Temperament, Character, and Intelligence by David Keirsey. You could even go online and look up the Keirsey Temperament Sorter and do a test and find out what temperament you are. Or you can go on Amazon and get a pamphlet, Understanding Yourself and Others, an Introduction to Temperament, and you could find out what you are. So to wrap up, we've learned about the 4 types, or temperaments. The rational, the idealist, the artisan, and the guardian. Now, if you're comfortable dealing with people who criticize you for being too much of a thinker, too much of a daydreamer, too artsy, or too much by the rules, then do what you've been doing. If you can handle it, if you can tell them, oh, they're just like that, I don't worry about it. But if you're a person who wants to know what kind of person like that is talking to me, saying something like that, how do I respond to that? Who will I get along with best? What kind of language do they use? Then you might go online, find these books, take the temperament sorter, and find out what are you.